Now let's come to UI. Sometimes you want to show some sort of UI and choices that you have to make, or maybe just some sort of instructions, right? So for that, what you need to do is click on UI overlay. Here we don't have any, so we'll create a new one. So this will give you a basic preview like how things will appear, right? So let me uh, create a basic dialog box which will show some instructions and some image, and then there will be a button, right? So let me add a text box, and I will just adjust the height and width of it, maybe like uh, let's say the height should be 300. So sorry, it's width should be 500 and height should be like 300. And it will show some nice message. I'll increase the font size and write the text like please collect more than 6 coins to progress. And I will change the background color, okay, like this maybe. And I can also change the text color, right? And if you want, you can write your custom CSS styles also here. So for example, let me add padding 20 pixel, okay, or maybe 40, right? And here first I'll make this thing absolute so that it stays in the center and other elements can come properly on it. Then I'll add a button, okay. You can see the button is added. Let's increase the font size of this button. I'll make it 20. Change the background color green, dark green, and also change the height and width 50 to 160, okay. And I can place this button. Since now it's relative, I will do absolute, and from top, let me see how much I can if I put 300 or 30, so it's gonna measure the distance from the top, right? But if I want to center, let's say I added some random values, but I want to center it again. So if I click here, it's gonna center horizontally and center vertically automatically, okay. So let's write something on this button. Where is the button text? Dot button on, yeah. So the button text should be okay. All right. When we click on OK, something should happen, right? We can also add another button just to shows some another behavior. So background color can be reddish gray like this, and from top we can give like 100, and I'll keep the same size, okay. And I'll name it like cancel. Also I can increase the size to match it. And what we will do is let us trigger some event. Again, I can trigger test one on click on which button, no, not on cancel. Here it should show some message, okay, show info. And then if I click on OK, Or again, if you are not able to select something from the UI, you can go back and now you will see the list of items. Then you can click the button. So yeah, so on click on OK, it will trigger test one. Okay, the two behaviors are there. And important part is, the most important part is when this thing should be shown, like when the UI should be shown. So if you want to show it at the very beginning, you can click on start, but I'll trigger this on like show UI, some new event. I'm creating some new event, show UI. You can also hide it on, like, if you don't want user to take the input and wait for the user's input, then you can also hide it. I've saved this new event, and this should be triggered when I go near. Let me add a simple sort of collider. So I'll make the opacity like this. 0.4. Okay, and I'll make the collision as so when I collide here, it will show me the UI. Now let's see. See, now the UI appears. And if I click on OK, it should start moving that rock. Yep. And if I click on cancel, you can also see, the mouse will be freed once when this custom UI overlay is shown. And if I click on cancel, you can see that box has been toppled and the message has been displayed. So all the events and all you can show. You can even have a menu system where a custom menu is shown, and then user clicks start game or end game, something like that. Let me show you one example, really good example. Now we'll create another custom UI overlay and we'll show it on the start, the very beginning. Let me add some block over here. Let's the width as 300, height as 400, and the background color to be like this. You can also add, do we have border radius? Border thickness is there. Also we can add some thickness, 2 pixel, and color maybe white. Okay, text color we don't want over here, right? And it should be absolute center. Now let's add some buttons, very simple buttons, like it will start. Okay, basically this will do nothing but start the game. Let's move this button a little up. Then you can also do a copy of it, like duplicate this button, right? But since these are relative, so it's gonna arrange it themselves like side by side. So better way is to make them absolute, right? Now it's tracing that thing from the bottom. So what you can do is, instead of writing things bottom and all, first I'll remove this property so that the button goes over here. You can write simple CSS like margin top. These are basic HTML styling property. I want to place it below it, so I'll put margin top minus 50 maybe pixel, of course. So it's gonna go up by 80. Okay, and I can change the color to grayish or something. and you can name it like anything you want, uh, like mode, you know which will open mode, and then you can show some other UI when you click on mode, and then you can select a mode and select a scene. That way you can trigger this. And maybe we'll duplicate this, and here we'll add some margin in positive. How much I want, like 50. Now okay, and I'll show it, put it something like back, which again does nothing, right? But on show mode we will show some other UI. So again, my UI UX is not that good, it's not looking that good as well. Let me make it a little more darker. Okay, on start, save. Let's get another UI. We have open mode, right? And it will show some buttons. One, again there will be button list. Let's show level 1. Okay, it will open level 1. Then we can add some, duplicate this button. Okay, then this should click on level, trigger this event level 2, and it should open. The text should be level 2, and again I'll do absolute and margin top 50 pixel, not 50, 100 pixel. Okay, and yeah, so we have set the property, and we so user will have to choose between two levels, and we will do something with the levels. I'll show you it in a bit, but let me show you like how the UI thing works. Right now nothing will happen since we haven't assigned anything to those events. You can see at the very start I'm getting a menu option, right? And if I click on start or mode, I think start nothing will happen because we haven't assigned that event. But if I click on mode, it will show me the next UI, which will be choosing between level 1 or level 2. Okay, so this is one more thing. And lastly, most of the time, like, you also want to make some sort of image or call out, or you want to show something. So for that, let us create one more UI. This time UI 2, I don't know what to call this. We'll add one giant container, 500, 300. Okay, this sort of container. Make sure the color is not exactly black, and then we'll add some image. Okay, now since this everything was relative, this also I want to be absolute. I'll center it. Okay, now to add an image, I will click on upload button. I have like a lot of different images. Let me select this image. Okay, so now you can see this particular image is added, and we also want to show some button like OK, next, or something. So let me add one button, small button, which says OK, because we want the user to interact with it. And we'll place this at the edge. Okay, I apologize for my UI design. Okay, I'll make this button bright red. Okay, so this way you can show images as well. You can show text, images, button. You can also show drop downs if you want user to select something, right? I'll show you that example also in this. So right now there is this option. First, let me arrange this option properly. And maybe right 60. Okay. Okay. I know everything is messed up, but here you can actually add multiple options, right? So on change, if you want to trigger any event when you change this value, you can set it. You have to definitely assign a variable where this thing should be saved. Okay, so we don't have a variable, so maybe we can create something, right? But for now I'm just keeping the zombie one here, and then you can write the name of the options, like if you want user to select from I don't know what to say. Yeah, like fast mode or slow mode. So I'll just write slow, then I'll add another option as fast. So you can see now it's showing these two options, slow and fast, and on selection of each we can set an event, set slow, then set fast. Okay, and it will be so stored in is zombie dead, which will not make sense now, but we will quickly create a variable, speed, it should be string, yeah, and initial value to be slow. Okay, now again I'll go back to this UI2, select, and instead of this zombie I'll add speed. Okay, this way it should persist things. And how do we check whether this thing is working or not? Let us bring our rock. Where is the rock? Okay, so we'll create another transition which will be faster. Okay, so I'll click another transition. Again it will be happening between state 1 and state 2, but this one will be super fast. Okay, I'll decrease the time to 0.2 millisecond. Okay, and the thing is this will be triggered when set fast is triggered, and transition 1 will be triggered when set slow is triggered. Okay, in both way, after I toggle the menu, it will move the stone according to this thing. But yeah, this when will this UI2 shown? So for that, instead of show UI, I'll just put UI2. Okay, now let's see things in action. Alright, it will show me UI. I'll click on start. Now if I go here, okay, the image sometimes it takes a while to load, but yeah, for the functionality, if I click on fast, it's moving fast, and if I click on slow, now it's moving slowly. This way, even with the UI, basic UI functionality, you can trigger things. Alright, so actually the problem was the block was coming over the image. So now you can see the image is coming over here. So this way you can showcase different images, or any sort of your own UI which you have created on your own software or your team, and you can just directly import and show the images here. And you can always write custom CSS to any sort of UI. But you can cover most of your basic UIs, like decision making, like navigating a game to different workflows based on different choices. You can also show instructions like what to be done. You can write a narrative, you can add some images of good characters who are talking,